morning. I'm on multiple social media platforms this morning, so good morning, good morning. I'm really excited to talk about this topic. I think it's a big one. There's so many of us face it, and that is why do you never follow through? Why do you never follow through? I know this is a big frustration to a lot of people, and I'm here to help you understand why that happens. So I'm just going to give people a few moments to hop on and then I'm going to get started. Why do you never follow through? Why do you start and stop all of the time? And the interesting thing about this is that people who do this, start and stop all the time, start one thing, then quit, then start another thing, is that people who do this all the time, they are very aware that they are doing this. And then it becomes a story in their head. And it's this constant conversation of, I am this person, that actually dictates their life. So when you've got this inner chatter about, oh, I never follow through, I never complete anything, it starts to create a lot of frustration. It also can build up doubt in your mind, doubt in your ability to actually complete the thing, whatever it is. And it also creates a lot of limitation around what you think you can and can't do because you have so much evidence in your life that you've not been able to do it before. Okay? And it won't matter how hard you work, and thank you for everybody who's joining me live. It won't matter how hard you work. It doesn't matter how many times you say you start again, nothing changes you. But what I do want to tell you is that when you change how you speak to yourself on the inside, when you change that conversation, everything on the outside will start to shift. And I say this because I use this method on myself that I'm teaching you, and it made me the person that always followed through. It made me the person that was able to keep focus, that became disciplined. And with that, then I was able to create this amazing no matter what attitude. And it's that attitude that carries you through when you're doing the work before the results that you're looking for show up. And this change that I had in myself, it was so dramatic that it shifted me to become a coach with Bob Proctor. And I want to get this out to more people. I don't want people to struggle. And in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how you can start and make changes today and start a completely different reality for yourself. It doesn't have to be this way. Now, before we get into this video and the topic, it's a pretty deep concept. I want to share that I have a free access for you to a 2-hour workshop and it's available for you to watch today. Go to the link in my bio. And if you're serious about making changes and you want to grow, make sure you get your free access today and make a committed decision. Make a committed decision that today you're going to be that person that follows through. You're going to sit down, you're going to watch that workshop, and also as well, there's a free workbook that you can download. And the key to it is that it's going to help you really implement what you learn in that workshop. Because that's the really important thing, because implementation creates those changes, and you can start today. This is the good news, and I promise you after this video and you watch that workshop, you will never think the same way again. Now, back to what I want to talk about today. Why you never follow through. I know that feeling can be really frustrating, but I want you to know is that you have control of one thing and one thing only in this life, and that is your thinking. Okay? And what you need to understand is that everything that's going on the outside, every time you've stopped and started, is just a reflection of what's going on inside of you. So until you change this inner dialogue, the way that you speak to yourself, nothing is going to change on the outside. And it doesn't matter how hard you work. And what I want you to know is that there's a lot of people, if you're watching this, you're probably somebody like, you know what? I do want to change. I know it's an inside job. but you're finding it hard. And you're finding it hard because you are trying to make a change in something that you cannot see. You do not have an image to work from. And the important thing about that is, as human beings, we think in pictures. We think in pictures. If I asked you, what is the color of your front door? Or what does your car look like? You would immediately be able to tell me because an image would flash up to the screen of your mind. And this is the problem that I find with most people is that they're trying to change what's going on the inside. They're trying to change their results, their reality, but they don't have this image to work from because they don't know what it looks like. And the thing that you need to change that you cannot see is your mind. Now, when most people think of the mind, they get this image of the brain. But the mind is not your brain. You know, if I cut you open, I would see inside of your head, I would see your brain. And it's a physical thing. But your mind is not a physical thing. Your mind is an activity. Okay? So we need, in order to change what's going on the inside, what's changing in our mind, we need an image to work from. And I'm going to show you that very image that's going to help you. And thank you so much for the people who are asking questions. I will hopefully get the answer at the end. Okay, so this is the image that I want you to pretend and represent that it's you. And this is how we connect the mind and the body. Okay, so this top circle represents the mind, and there are two parts. We've got our conscious mind and we've got our subconscious mind. And this little circle here is our body. And I know this might be back to front for those who are watching on some apps. I apologize. But if you follow my voice, you'll understand what I'm talking about. So we've got our conscious mind and we've got our subconscious mind. Now, in order to change your reality, to change your results permanently, I want to say that permanently, you've got to change what's going on here in your subconscious mind. And the important thing to know about your subconscious mind is that it uses or understands the language of emotion or feelings. That is what it understands. Now, to change what's going on in your subconscious mind, we have to change your emotion, how you feel. Okay? If we want to change that, we've got to change how we speak to ourselves. We've got to change our thoughts. Okay? And right now, you've got a thought, you've convinced yourself of something, and it is causing an emotion in your body, and it's not making you feel good. So it's not, you're like, the same thing's going over and over again, and it's not making you feel good. And I know if you're this person who has started and stopped, you've got this voice saying, sure, you never follow through. People are waiting for you to quit because that's what you always do. And those thoughts you are having, the way that you are speaking to yourself is these thoughts are coming into your conscious mind. These are impressing into your subconscious mind. Okay? And it's causing you to feel, that lack of belief in yourself. It's causing you to feel like you just want to give up again. Okay? We want to break that cycle. Now, another word for emotion is vibration. Okay? Feeling. And your emotions will control your vibration. Now, for those of you, this word might be new to you, like what is vibration? This is kind of what it feels like. This is how I describe how it feels like in real life. Have you ever walked into a room and it's like the mood is low and you feel like somebody's had an argument? Or you go to a concert or you walk into a bar and like the atmosphere feels electric. That is you picking up the vibration in your subconscious mind. Isn't that amazing? Okay? And it's your emotions that control this vibration. And it's the vibration that controls your actions. So hopefully you're starting to see this pattern, this pathway on where everything starts, okay? And when you have these vibrations, it sets off these actions. This is what causes your results. These actions set off a reaction to the universe, and then you're going to get your results. So if you keep speaking to yourself in a negative way, right, this is all going to have a negative reaction, and your results are going to be negative. But what if you started having thoughts like, I'm amazing. I always follow through. I achieve all of my goals. This will start to produce a positive emotion, okay? A positive feeling inside of your subconscious mind. And then whatever you get emotionally involved with, and this is the really important thing, is whatever you get emotionally involved with, because we've got lots of thoughts going through our heads, whatever you get emotionally involved with, that is what's impressed in your subconscious mind. And then that is how your vibration is raised in your body. And then it will express itself because your vibration always has to express itself. It has to express itself from your body, and it does this in your actions. So the vibration expresses itself. Your feelings, your emotions, your thoughts, everything eventually is expressed through your actions. And you can probably think about this and go, yeah, that makes sense, because when you're not inspired, you don't exactly jump out of your chair. Again, it's all these actions that are creating your results in life. So there are a lot of people that want to change the way that they are. Okay? They want to follow through. They want to be someone who can give themselves a command and commit to fully carrying it out because they believe that that is where success is. Success is at the other end of carrying out, fully committing to the thing and making sure you follow through. But to change your results, you've got to change your actions. You've actually got to take responsibility for them. Okay? But to change your actions, you've got to change your vibration. And to change your vibration, you have got to change the emotion. You've got to change the thoughts that you are emotionally getting involved in on a regular basis. This is not just a one-off. This is like over and over and over again, over and over every day. Okay? And you can see how if you change your thoughts, the reaction between each thing, each stage of the path would change your results. Okay, so if you keep thinking the way that you're thinking, I never follow through, oh, this is not for me, I'm going to start something else, you will never change your results. You will get the same thing over and over and over again. Okay, and there's nothing worse than walking around talking bad about yourself. That we are so good about thinking so good about other people, but so badly about ourselves. And you can blame all your circumstances all you want. You'll always remain a victim. And I remember when I was being coached, like it's so easy to blame circumstances and situations. It's so easy. But I know through my own experience, and I am confident that if you look far enough through socials, you will find somebody who is facing far bigger challenges than you, with less skill than you, and they're doing something that you want to do far better than you. They're doing it really well. And eventually you're going to realize like it doesn't matter what the thing is that you start, nothing will stick. And it's not about your actions. It starts off with your thinking process. How you speak to yourself. How do you speak to yourself? And I want you to be honest with yourself. What are those conversations you're having with yourself on a regular basis? Right? What are the conversations? Not the conversations with your friends, not the conversations with your partner or your kids, or people that you work with, or even on social media? What are the conversations you're having when you're alone, when you're standing in the shower, when you're driving your car, maybe cooking your dinner? All of these conversations are happening up here within your consciousness, within your conscious mind. And the important thing to know about this is that your conscious mind only has control of 5% of the actions that you take. Okay? It's only responsible for 5% of your results. Our subconscious mind is responsible for 95% of our entire life. It's coming from our subconscious mind. And that's a lot of responsibility left here in our subconscious mind that's just running on autopilot because we don't have control of it. Okay? Your conscious mind is your thinking mind. That's where all your thoughts happen. That's where you create all your dreams. That's where you start the new business or you create this new idea. And if you're listening to me, you're listening to my voice, you've probably got this little voice in your head. You're like, yeah, I know what Linda's talking about. I have this little voice in my head, and it never shuts its little face. And it has very few good things to say about me. And you can let me know, drop me an emoji or a thumbs up if you're like, if this is resonating with you. And this voice is going on. And the thing is, I want you to know that everybody's got one. I've got one. You've got one. Everybody's got one. Nobody's oblivious to it, okay? And there's a research done by a doctor from Stanford University. And he says that there is, what is his name? Fred Luskin. He said there's 60,000 thoughts, right? 60,000 thoughts that are running through our conscious part of our mind every day. Every day, 60,000 thoughts. Now, if we were consciously processing those thoughts, we'd all be exhausted and sleeping, okay? We would not have the capacity to sit consciously and work through every single one. But there's 60,000 thoughts. And the scary thing about that is 90% are repetitive. And remember what I said to you earlier, what we get emotionally involved with on a regular basis, we impress into our subconscious mind and it sets up the reaction that leads to results. So if 90% of these thoughts are repetitive, imagine if 90% of your thoughts were negative and they were repetitive. Well, when you look at your results, it would start to make a lot of sense. Okay? These thoughts, these 60,000 thoughts, don't have to impact you at all as long as you do not get emotionally involved with them. Just let them go. Okay? Your conscious mind is only responsible for 5%. It is the part of your mind where you pick up all your knowledge, all your information, all the stuff that you learn at school. You know, I did it for years, going to school and different things and going to university. Like, I just picked up all this knowledge. Okay? And then when I got into business for myself, I started picking up, I wanted to learn how to improve my business. I wanted to learn how to improve my results. So I started to get into personal development. And I was reading books like I started off, the first personal development book I ever read was called The Miracle Morning. And I thought it was really good. And then I read the book The Secret. You can let me know if you've ever read that book. But nothing changed. Reading these amazing books, but nothing changed. And the reason was I was just gathering information. I was just gathering knowledge. Okay? And it all gets stored up here in the conscious mind. But that's not the part of the mind that triggers the movement of your body to take actions. Okay? Your subconscious mind controlling 95% of our lives, of our actions, of our results. And if your subconscious mind does not get reprogrammed, you will not create a new reality. Nothing will change. You will still keep getting the same thing. Nothing will stick. And if it does stick, it'll be slight and it'll be temporary. And you might have tried to change your actions. You've started something new and you last a couple of days and then you eventually fall off the wagon. You always slip back to your old ways. That's because we're relying on motivation to change your actions. But motivation is not enough to permanently change what's going on in your subconscious mind. And this is where most people get stuck. And then they fall into what I call repeat patterns of doom. Okay? Year after year, you're getting the same results over and over and over again. And then you get more frustrated. And then you think, oh, I just need something different. And you look for the next thing, and you look for the next thing, or maybe you start reading books, or you watch YouTube channels, or you start buying into like $27, I'm laughing, $27 courses. I know, I bought them, okay? Gathering more knowledge, more information, but you're not getting the results because none of them change what's going on in the subconscious mind. And there's only one reliable way to change what's going on here in your subconscious mind, and that is constant spaced repetition. Repetition, sorry. It's the same thing. It's reading the same thing over and over again. It is writing it out repeatedly. It is listening to the same material, the same message over and over and over again. Now, I used to read loads of books. Now I just read a handful of books. Let's see, I've got 4 here. And they'll change, but like I've got a wee handful of books. I don't read a lot of books anymore. I just read the same books over and over and over again because it's not about learning more. I'm just very interested about what I do now. Okay? What do I do? Your conscious mind is in control of what you know. It's your subconscious mind that is in control of what you do. Okay? And here's a great example. And I'm thinking of you guys watching. Say somebody sets themselves a challenge to grow in their social media. Okay? And the plan's really simple. They're just going to go live every day and talk about X, Y, or Z. That's all they're going to do. Your conscious mind has got all the knowledge it needs to execute the plan. There's nothing new, no more information research required. They've got the knowledge. They know how to execute the plan, okay? I'd say they've started on Monday and they're doing really well, and they get to Saturday and suddenly their schedule changes a little bit. And maybe their friends invited them out for the day. And they know that this doesn't mean that they can't still make the live video. They might just have to change the time. So they go out for the day and they have a great day, and they will have maybe a little niggling in their mind. Their voice will say, hey, don't forget about that video. It might pop up, right? So they don't forget about it, but they come home and they feel a little bit tired and they don't get around to the video. But they know as well that if they don't post the video, if they don't take the action, they don't post the video, they're not going to get the result that they want. So they know this. They know by not posting that video, they're not going to get the results that they want. But they don't go live anyway. And that's because just because you know something does not mean you're going to do it. And I want you to think about your own life. Like, you already know, with everything you have right now, you already know what you could do to improve your life, to improve your income, to get a result you're looking for in your personal life. You know what you need to do to move forward towards your goals. Yet you're not doing it and you don't stick to it. And the reason you're doing it is because you have not reprogrammed this part of your mind that is in control of your actions, your subconscious mind. This is so powerful. When I first heard this, I was like, what? It was the missing piece. This is the missing piece. This is the key to the secret, to the key to the door to everything that you want. And here's what I want you to do. And make sure you save this video because I'm going to give you a little task. I want you to get a fresh piece of paper. And before you start with another goal, I want you to do this. I want you to write down 5 things that you have started but never completed. Okay? 5 things. Could be a course, the old $27 course. It could be a project. It could be a book, a fitness goal, whatever it is. Could be a habit too. That'd be a good one. And then you're going to ask yourself, at what point did I decide that this wasn't worth continuing? Because trust me, it was a decision. It was a decision. And your job here is not to judge yourself because that doesn't get us anywhere. Your job here is just to be aware, just identify that moment where you normally just disappear, when you normally quit. Now, the next thing I want you to do is choose one thing from that list and make a commitment to finish it before you start anything else new. And I'm sure you've all got something in your mind you can share if you are feeling if you're feeling brave. Commit to one thing you're going to finish that you've already started. Now, I'm not telling you to go back and finish every abandoned project you ever started because I'm sure some of them just weren't that great, and that's okay. But there are some things, like there are some things that are meant to be left behind. But the question I really want you to ask yourself is, did you consciously choose to stop this? Or did you just disappear because it got a wee bit uncomfortable or inconvenient? That's the question. So, did you consciously choose to stop this, or did you just disappear because it was getting a wee bit too uncomfortable? And then for the next 7 days, make one small promise to yourself every morning and keep it. One small promise, nothing big, okay? Not 10 things. It could be I'm going to make my bed every day, right? Something really simple, whatever it is. I'm going to get up 10 minutes early every morning and make myself a special coffee, right? One thing, nothing big, just the one thing. I feel like I have to repeat myself, but just one thing. Because I know what it's like when we get all excited, like, I'm going to change my life. We want to do all the things, just one thing. One thing. It's not a complete life overhaul, okay? But what happens when you do this process? Because this is going to be the understanding. When you start changing the way that you speak to yourself, okay? In other words, you change your thoughts. Over time, through repetition, you're going to start producing new emotions. Because when you're doing this task, you're starting to focus on achievement. You're getting things done. You're a doer. And you're focusing on what you're doing, right? And you're stopping to focus on things you're not doing. So you're kind of skipping the guilt. And when you're focusing on things you're doing all the time because you're following through, you're gonna feel amazing. You're gonna start feeling happy. You might feel a bit proud of yourself, and as you should, okay? And as your emotions change, your vibration is gonna change. Okay? Now you're in the vibration in your body now, you can't see your vibration with your physical eyes, but it does change and it's expressed through the actions that you take. And it's these new actions that you take from a positive place that produce your new results. That's where they come from. This is such a freeing piece of information. So I really want you to save this video. If you haven't caught it up, save it and watch it again. Remember what I said about the constant spaced repetition? This is how we're going to start and how you can start reprogramming your subconscious mind today, not tomorrow. You can do it today. Okay? What I've shared today is literally just surface level. Like I'm just scratching the surface. There's so much more I can teach you and show you. And I mentioned at the start of this video, you can get access to my very powerful 2-hour workshop. It's called Thinking into Results. It's going to help you see what's really been shaping your results, what's been shaping your decisions, your emotions, your progress, and you can start changing today. Okay? And the access is free. The link is in my bio. Go to that link in my bio. I'm going to show you how I can take you from where you are to where you want to be. And you can get access to that right now. It is free. Commit to giving it your full attention. Okay? And make sure you download the workbook. There's a follow along workbook that will really help you implement and understand what you're learning in that workshop. Okay? Because I really want you to start changing your subconscious mind today. And I'm sure you'd like to make a start on it as well. So thank you so much for watching. Make sure you head to the link in my bio and you catch that workshop. It is free